Do you know that the brick stitch method is a kind of method where you have to sew beads with needle and thread on top of one another? This is an example of what I'm talking about. Now, when you watch this earring closely, you realize that each and every one of the creation you see here that looks like a leaf is made up with beads or made up of beads that is put on top of one another, as you can see. And with this, I had to use needle and thread. Now, before we get into the video, I'd like to say hello to everybody who has been able to help support this channel. Thank you so much for your massive support. And please, before I continue, kindly subscribe to my channel. And I'd like to say a big thank you to my returning subscribers. Please keep on pressing the notification bell so that you get new uploads whenever I have to put in a new video. Thank you so much. Now, on today's tutorial, the materials for this project is very simple, and I'm going to mention them. Okay, so I have Toho red beads. They are 11O seed beads, as you can see, and I'm going to use this nylon thread. This is a really strong thread that I use for most of my projects. I'm also going to use this 10/13. I think this is the measurement of the beads of the needle that I'll be using for this work, and I've already added my thread to it. Now I would also be needing this chain here. This is a silver color chain, and then my jump rings. They are really small. I'll be using this to attach the the leafy images or creations to the chains. And of course I would need my hook, earring hooks, and then at a point I'll be needing this scissors. I'll also use all 3 pliers. This is a long nose plier, the curved nose plier, and my cutters, and not forgetting my bead mat. It's really necessary that a beader should have a beading mat so that when you put the beads on top of your material, it doesn't roll off. It's really necessary, and it's also very easy for you to pick your beads with your needle. Now let's get into the video. The thread attached to the needle is about 1 meter thread, okay? And so, or you can measure more than let's say 40 centimeters, and you are good to go. All right, because these are really tiny. So I'm going to make one of these basically, as you can see, and this is also a beginner friendly. It's really simple, and I just love the look of this creation. Okay, so I'll be making one of these are about, say, 6. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, and then after, you just have to dip your hands inside like this, and it looks like leaf, yes. So I'll be starting from the top, okay, and then I'll increase to the middle here. So in the middle, the total of beads you are going to have is 7. So but I'm going to start from 2. I think you can see another one here. After I am done, I would be adding the one, and why I do that. Yeah, so with me, if you are a beader and you are watching, it might be easier for you to add one whilst you move, but I think I prefer to finish with, or to start with the 2, and then in the end I finish with my 1, and then go back and finish with another one here. That is what I do. All right, so let's start. I'll be starting with 2, and then I'll increase. So I pick 2 beads. Let me zoom in for you to understand. I pick 2 beads. Let me push this on the side so that I don't interrupt my work. All right, this is really simple. It's a very simple tutorial, so please pay attention, especially when you are a beginner. Okay, So this is our just, I mean, the main idea is to teach you or to show you how to increase in brick stitch. I think I have a tutorial on this, but I'm showing you this again. All right. So whilst you have your 2 beads on, now you go ahead, now leaving the tail on your left hand. So this is my left, this part here is my left, and this is my right. Okay, and then you just have to fold it. You go through the first bead from the tail of your or your work or your tail, the tail of your thread. Go through the first bead, and then you have something like this. Okay, go through the second bead, and then you go to the first. Just to secure it, I have to go through it maybe twice, like so. Okay, then I go through the last one here. And I think I'll have to go through it again because I need to come from here to continue with my increase. Okay, so let me just okay, all right, so I turn it this way, and then I hold it in between my thumb and my index finger. Then I take 2 beads, then I go through. Now you see the thread on top of the 2 beads here. It's called the thread bridge. Okay, this is the thread bridge. So you go through this thread bridge like that, together with your needle and your thread, and of course your 2 beads, and then you pull them gently. And then you go through the very first bead, go through the second bead, and then under the thread bridge, then you pull your needle with your thread. Gently. Like that. And then you go through this bead, the last bead, without going under the thread bridge, like that. I hope you can all see. Okay. And then you go, now you go through the thread bridge which is on top of these two, the first 2 beads. There's a thread bridge, the same thread bridge. You go through it halfway like that, so that you can add your third bead. When you're using this kind of thread, please be careful, don't pull it too tight or too fast, or else you're going to tangle it. This is not you know, see what I mean here. Now let me untangle this. I'm not going to edit this. I'm going to show you how this looks like. You may find this in your tutorials or your projects, and please just do this gently. Okay, so there's a knot here that I have to open, and it's going to be fine. It happens most of the time because I think I had to pull it too fast. That is why. I'll do this offline and get back to you. So I have been able to untangle the knot. I'll pull it gently like that. Yeah, and then in the end we have 3 beads on top. Okay, and then I go through this bead, and then I'll be at the top, like so. So I'm going to do this one more time. I am increasing, so you realize that the first is 2 beads, and then the second row is 3 beads. So the third will be 4 beads. So I pick 2 beads, I go through the first thread bridge. Now we have how many thread bridges? We have 2. 1, 2, because I'm increasing. Okay, so I'll go through this thread bridge, the first one, and then I go through the first bead, then I go through the second bead, and then under the thread bridge from here, and I go through the same bead but not the thread bridge, or without the thread bridge. Then I continue from here. So I'll add my last bead. Okay, by going through the thread bridge beneath, and then I go through the same bead without going through the thread bridge. Yes, and it goes on and on and on until you get to your desired length, whilst you increase. Okay, and then you decide to decrease. So with that, I will be showing you how to decrease as well. So this is what we do. Okay, I'll be doing the rest of the increases until we get to the row where the beads are 7. Okay, so see you. So with this row, this is on the 1 2 3 4 5 6, this is on the 6th row, and it has 7 beads. So from here I'm going to decrease. Now depending on the kind of project you are doing, you can even increase more, and then from there you can add your hooks to it, and then it becomes something different. Okay, but if in case you are following this tutorial and you really want to have the same thing that I'm doing, then you have to get on the 6th row where you have 7 beads, and then you continue to what, decrease, or you start to decrease. Okay, so I'll start to decrease. All right, so I'll pick 2 beads again, and then this time you go through the second thread bridge, not the first one, the second thread bridge. Okay, you go through the first bead, go through the second bead, and under the thread bridge and you go through the second bead without going under the thread bridge. So I think it's the same thing, but the only difference is about the thread bridges for it to increase or decrease. And then you continue. And then the last bead. So this time we don't add any bead to the sides because this is a decrease. Okay, so before we decreased, the beads were 7, so now we have 1 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We are back to 6, and so we continue to decrease until we get to 2, okay, or 2 beads. So we go through the second thread bridge. You go under the second thread bridge, and then through the second bead. And then we continue with our work until we get to the last thread bridge. Okay, so I'll continue the rest until I get to the last 2 beads and get back to you. So I'm on the last 2 beads. As I started, I'm going to add my last 1 bead, from here. Then I go through the first thread bridge. So in the end, we have only 1 thread bridge, but this time the bead is not going to stand. Now some people would go through directly from here, okay, and then so that the bead will stand like you can see here, but for me, I don't do it like that. Now I have to, the bead may turn. Let me finish so you understand what I mean. Then I'll go through it one more time. And then the rest of the beads. Now see how the bead is standing. It's standing like a rectangle, like this. And it's okay, no problem. Okay, so I'm going to go through this hole with the jump rings, okay, and then I attach it to the chains here, okay. So that is why I bend the beads like this, yeah. So I think from the beginning I didn't mention something. When you start this kind of brick stitches or projects, the tail of the thread should be a little longer. I didn't mention it, so that you can attach your bead after. Okay, now if you are following my tutorial, this is how I do it. Okay, other people may have a different way of doing it. Maybe they can start with 1 bead, but I decide to finish everything and then add my bead. Okay, so I decide to leave a small tail of thread, and then I have to add my bead with the help of the thread. Okay, so I'll be doing this offline and then get back to you. It's the same process as I did from here. Yes, so all is done. I have added one of the chains to one of the beads to it, so we have 1 bead from the top and 1 bead from the down, and you can see a jump ring inside one of the beads. So that was one of the reasons why I had to make the beads lie in that way, so that I can attach, or I can go through the jump ring easily. Okay, so The next thing to do is that now holding on to my chain, I go through the very first chain here, okay, and then I close the jump ring. So this is the use of the two pliers. You see the reason why I said so. So you hold on like that, okay, and then you close. I am not a pro, yeah. So sometimes it doesn't really stay on in my hands, but basically this is how to do it, okay. And then this is it. So from here I'm going to count. Now I'll do 5 more leafy images. This looks like a leaf actually, okay. So, and it looks like a diamond shape at the same time, yeah. Now I'm going to make 5 more of these, and then each and every one I make, I would add or attach my jump ring, and then straight away I would put it on the chain, okay. So in all, I'm going to, maybe whilst I do this, I'm going to count 16 chains as I had here, okay. So this was about 16 chains, and then finally I add my jump ring and then my hook, and then it becomes a beautiful earring. So it's going to repeat here, okay. So each and every diamond shape or leaf I create, I'll just come directly here and then add it to the chain until I finish with all the 6 leaves or all the 6 diamond shapes, yeah. So see you when I'm done with everything, okay. The main idea of this tutorial is to be able to show you how to increase and decrease a simple brick stitch, and this is how it goes, right? So you can also decide to, even use this as a how would you call this, a charm on the back, okay. You can make this as many as you want, and use this as a pendant on your necklace or something, yeah. So I've given you a clue to how to use this brick stitches when you have to start, or when you have to come by or start a project, a simple project with it, yeah. So see you when I'm finished, and then I'll get back to you when I have to add my hooks. I am done with all 6 diamond shapes or the leaf shape, and I have placed a marker or a jump ring at the end here, where I'll also or it will also serve as the place to put my earring hook, yeah. So at this point I would cut off the excess, okay, the excess chain from the side. Now you should do this very, very carefully, yeah. I'm going to cut off from this area. Okay, yeah, and then this remains, yeah. So I'm going to open up, I would open up my earring hook, and then I'll add to my jump ring, then I'll close it up, okay. With my curved nose plier. All right, so everything is finally done. Look at that. This is so simple. This is so simple. Look at that. It is so nice. I love this tutorial. So I also try to just fold the ends like this, then I dip my hands to create this kind of leafy look, okay. It gives it a very unique look, You can make multiples of this and create something different, like a car chain or door chain, or even a back charm or a pendant for your necklace. Okay, so I've given you a clue to adding something unique to your diamond shapes or this kind of shapes of brick stitches. Okay, thank you very much for stopping by, and I hope you'll be able to do something for yourself as well. And please thumbs up if you like this video, thumbs up, like, share, comment, and if there's anything you want me to explain, please share with me in the comment section. Okay, and have a nice time, and see you in my next video. Have a nice time. Bye bye.